Alrighty, folks. Well, good evening. Hello, and welcome to another session of our Princes of the Apocalypse. I am your Dungeon Master, Dungeon Mister, joined by our wonderful and caring players this evening.
Hey. Oh.
No.
Wow.
Gambling.
This guy only knows one thing.
We don't.
There are many other things to handle, like fires in camp and archers shooting from above. But let's talk about how we got to where we're at before we get this show on the road. So, last time, you guys were curious about the caravan guard job. Party traveled south to the Barge Right Inn. Lucky collected his winnings from Chalaska by presenting the Rotten Bat Head, while the rest of you spoke to Nalasker Thayland, the inn's proprietor. And he explained that trade in the region has nearly collapsed due to brigands in the hills, river pirates, and even rumors of a dragon turtle on the Desserin. He offered solid pay if you could escort a caravan north to Tribor, kind of help restore confidence along the trade routes. Next morning, you set out with the caravan, under Haler Thamador, a seasoned veteran. The day passed without trouble. You found a good campsite for the night. As most of the caravan settled in, the guard swapped stories and took up watch. And a few hours later, well, after setting up camp, before any real sleep got started, chaos erupted. Arrows rained down from a nearby cliff. Torn spotted attackers holding the high ground. One of the wagons was set ablaze with flaming arrows, forcing some of you to fight with a fire, while the others, like guards around, formed kind of defensive positions around the remaining carts. And that is where we're going to pick up. So, still in the middle of stuff. Still in initiative. Lucky. You're up.
So I kind of want to look back real quick and see if anybody's doing anything about the cart that's set ablaze. Like, does it look like anybody's
You see
putting it
Pax
out?
yelling at a guy trying to tell him how to put it out.
Okay.
Like, no, do it like this. Throw cabbage at it.
Can I hear him say that?
Yeah, absolutely you do.
I'll scream out, put it out with water, and then I'll try to see if I can make my way up this cliff.
Okay. The cliff is a good maybe 20 or so feet tall, but you can potentially climb it. I believe you have a climb speed now.
I do not.
What?
I have a swim speed.
Oh, okay. When do rangers get a climb speed? Don't they get a climb speed? That might be later.
Level 6. I
All
get
right.
roving.
Well, this is your chance to learn how to climb well.
Nice.
In preparation for that advancement that your class will grant you. Yeah, there's this kind of cliff up ahead. There are hanging down vines and little bits of plant growth. It's not bare, and it's not a flat, sheer cliff, so there is definitely room for climbing. If you would like, go ahead and give me an athletics check to climb, to see how well you climb.
Give it a shot.
See if all that training. Well, the good news is you don't fall, but the bad news is it will take your action to get to the top. Your action and movement to get to the top of that cliff.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay. As you do reach the top of the cliff, into the darkness, where you are invisible, nobody even sees him scaling this cliff. You see the darkness staring back. There's brush ahead of you. No sign of the attackers, at least not immediately.
Okay. Hmm. And I don't see or hear anything that would
Not
indicate
not
an
automatically,
attacker.
no.
Okay.
Not inherently. You're
That'll
kind of out of breath from the climb, so that's all you hear is your own heavy breaths.
yeah.
Just that.
Lucky likes to smoke too.
I know what it's like to be out of breath. I mean,
All
heck,
right,
you just
that'll do it
climbed
for
20 feet
me.
in 6 seconds. That's impressive.
That's impressive.
I would be winded too, if I could even do it. But that will take us to Benji. Benji is beside Orsic's brand new horse, mini horse.
I think I just portaled it over here.
Yeah, you did.
And I am going to turn toward the burning caravan carriage. Yell out, "Oi, Zeke! Think fast, all right?" Going to draw a rune in the air, and the black inky substance, kind of like when I do a fairy fire, covers the carriage, and it begins to get rewritten and redrawn to be smaller as I cast reduce. Hopefully, a smaller fire is easier to put out.
On the carriage?
The one that's on fire.
I'm gonna say give me a double check here real quick.
Do I have to touch it?
No, you don't. But go ahead and give me, we'll say, an intelligence check as you try to reduce the cart.
Yeah, I'm kind of smart.
Yeah. It's your spell casting.
I'm not smart at all. I'm gonna use inspiration.
Okay. Use it if you got it.
Do I have it? I do have it. That's
Okay.
better. 16.
As you see the cart shrinking, but the fire actually stays the same size somehow, even though the fuel that it's being fed is smaller, the fire remains large, and you just kind of stretch your magic out, that inky substance stretching out to kind of almost grab a hold of the flames, pulling them in. As, yeah, the cart reduces by half size, along with the flames. I don't have a smaller cart to put on here, so you will use your imaginations.
Oh, good.
It's crazy, right?
I think that's all I'm gonna do.
All right. Is that what
Does
take
that
us to
affect the weight of the cart?
Yeah,
the
it's about
weight
an
of the
eighth.
cart is like a quarter now?
I think an eighth.
Eighth? Yeah, so the
Let me
cart
read.
like weighs almost nothing. Which is
Got it.
crazy.
Cool.
But that will take us to Zeke's a sneak. Zeke sneaking next to the blazing inferno, which is now Zeke sized. It's a Zeke sized cart.
Okay. Zeke is going to run over to here. And can he grab this blanket?
Yeah.
And then he's going to run over to the half-size cart and start beating the flames with the blanket. Now that it's smaller, it's a little bit more manageable.
Okay, give me a... I'm going to say a survival check to put out the flames. With 4. As you start fanning the flames, they expand more.
Okay.
Now this mini cart is surely ablaze.
I wasn't paying attention to my movement, so that's
like
where I'll
15
end
or so feet, 10 maybe.
I'm just going to back up 10 feet.
Our
Okay.
first rolls were a 2, a 1, and a 4.
And that'll end my turn.
All right, Torn, you're up in the darkness. As there are shouts like, get some water over here.
All right. The first
He'll go
thing
run to the
Torn's
cart.
going to do is mentally send to the owl, who's still circling overhead, and ask it if it sees our attackers. 'Cause he didn't see Lucky initially scamper that way, but of course has lost sight of him.
Yes, in the darkness. And has also lost sight of any would-be attackers.
Okay. Well, I guess one disaster at a time. Torn will then, he is going to kind of slide down this little ridge and land there. And since he's noticed that the cart has shrunk,
Yeah.
and technically the flames are much smaller than they were, although they're still providing a problem, Torn will ball up his left hand and he'll hold it to his mouth and blow. You know, like when you're trying to heat your hands up when it's cold outside?
Yeah.
He'll blow and then he'll hold his fist out at arm's length and open it. And a gust of wind will launch out of his hand and attempt to extinguish the
Yeah.
flames.
I'm going to say...
It
You
does
cannot-
specifically call out in the spell
It does.
that it can do that to some degree.
So I'm going to say give me... If you're proficient in survival, I'll give me a survival check at advantage.
Okay. From our rolls, I'm going to need that advantage.
2 and a 1. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. But we're not going to do that.
It's definitely going to help put the flames out, but it's just seeing the degree. With the 20,
Dirty 20.
as the flames, like, in this gust of wind, they aren't completely put out, but they are at a much more manageable level. They are, I would say, at a small smolder, and just small embers are still kind of, burning. Not that there's any actual living flames. If that makes sense.
Yes.
There's coals, just not flames.
It is still providing light.
Okay.
Just dimly. Anything else for
And
Torn?
then Torn is going to maintain the spell.
Okay.
With more than likely the intention to continue to get rid of, the
Yeah.
smolder.
Making sure
The
the smoke
owl-
is cleared.
Will continue to circle out towards where the attackers were, just to double check, getting a better look.
Yeah.
And it's really, really looking.
I guess you can give me a perception check with your owl.
Okay.
It would technically be a disadvantage, but I'll just whatever the roll is, -5. Oh. Not disadvantage. So with an 18, it doesn't see any signs within the immediate vicinity. There would be some distant kind of rustling a good ways off through the brush. I would say like maybe probably at the edge of the owl's dark vision. I think that's what, 120 feet?
Yeah.
That sounds about right. About 120 feet away, it can just barely make out what
See foliage
what seems
shaking
to be
and stuff.
yeah. There's movement in that direction, and it just seems to be moving away.
Okay, Torin will shout, They're either withdrawing or circling around. Stay alert. That's it.
Okay. Hex mumbles something about, see? That's how you put out a fire. Taking us to the otherworldly steed, also known as Orsic.
I'm going to find the nearest barrel of drinking water.
Okay. Yeah, they would probably be either this one here. Actually, no. That's the food one is over there. So most of it would be in this cart or this cart.
Okay.
That's why the commander went over there. I would say you would know that based on where people have gotten drinks for the night.
So that's 50, 60. I'm going to hop off my horse
Okay.
and go another 30.
So dismounting from your horse will take half of your movement.
Okay. Yeah. How does initiative for NPCs work? Can I just tell them to bring me water?
I mean, they have their orders. You can absolutely tell them to bring you water.
You know what?
They all seem to be in protective stances, kind of shielding the carriage driver, the wagon drivers, and kind of on alert about the wagons themselves, looking behind, making sure there's no. Especially as Torn called out, they might be circling around, so a lot of them are kind of looking around and trying to be protective of each of them seem to have their wagon they've been assigned to.
So I'm just gonna hop off my horse right as close to the wagon as I can, and start to yeah, I'm gonna start to spit on it. On the places
wagon?
The places that I see glowing the most, because it's small. A big old loogie should probably
Sure.
or I'm gonna piss on it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pee on it.
Take off your codpiece and just take a whiz. Yeah. I would say, thoroughly soaking this now small cart with its contents. Also, we'll say everything inside is also small too. It's can't wait for that to get big. So it's gonna be a big smelly piss wagon.
It's mostly ale. It's pretty watery.
Well, still dwarven. But
Hey.
as we can hop out of combat there, as for the time being, there does not appear to be. Let me double check something real quick. Will that work? No, it doesn't work. For the time being, there are tensions flaring, as everyone is on edge. Maybe not tensions flaring, that's the wrong word. But everyone does kind of just have that, that on edge feeling. Unsure of what to make of all of this.
I'll yell out, "Hey, Lucky! You see anything up there?"
Can I hear him?
Yeah. He's only like 100. He's yelling out. He's got a big old voice.
I would like to survey the land for any kind of threats.
Hey, give me a perception check. In the dark.
The dark.
Yeah, with a 24. So some hasty movements, which have been also very hastily tried to be like covered, so no real effort. So to the uninitiated eye, it would be hard to see the tracks, but even in this darkness, your elven eyes do bear witness to several tracks here that have been dusted up and seems like they like running boot prints
I'll
that just had like something like scratching across it.
okay. I will fuck it, I'll cast message to Orsic
Okay.
and just tell him, yeah, I'm still huffing and puffing up there. I'll cast message and tell him, hey, they're leaving, man. They're running away.
Hi, for now. Keep your eyes peeled. We'll try and put this back together. We can't have him sneaking up on us again.
I'll cast message one last time and ask him, do you want me to stay up here?
I think for the time being, nobody can see
Okay.
up, so hopefully you can catch them if they come back.
Okay. So I will stay up here. Is my fog cloud still up?
Yeah. Lasts for like what, a minute, 10 minutes?
I think it's.
But yeah, it's still up. Yeah,
Okay.
for a moment or two.
I'll just like right there, and then just be a
Post up.
sentry.
Okay.
Yep.
As you post up, there's again. Everyone's looking around. Many of them are not armored, but everyone has a weapon in hand. Aside from the drivers, which are kind of like, kind of trying their best to be small in a situation like this.
I'll kind of relay the message back to the group. Lucky says he saw some stuff up there, but nothing right now. Looks like they ran away. For how long? That is the question. I do not know.
It was elves.
There was a good
Elves?
number of them, yeah.
Dirty fucking elves.
At least mostly elves. One of them wearing a very tacky hat.
Push elves with no style.
Torn will
For
clap
nothing,
his
I like my
hands
fears.
together and cancel the gust of wind since this seems under control.
Okay. What was that?
I'll
Benji?
walk.
Yeah.
Alright, so, I'll walk down to the cart and I'll release my concentration and it'll get big again.
Hello?
I'll get in. I'll scrunch my nose up. Ah, shite. Then I'll look it over and see what all needs to get repaired.
Most of it. It is charred at this point. Even this in fact, you can even see several of the crates and boxes. Actually, they would all be chests. Inside there's a little glint underneath them, if rustled a little bit. There's holes in the crates and stuff now. That's the money wagon.
Yeah. Zeke is going to run over and inspect the damage himself, see if there's anything he can do to help Benji.
Let's get some materials and plenty of wood around. And start patching some stuff up.
Thank
I
you,
know
Benji.
Clark. I can help. It's Torrin's way of saying he knows carpenter's tools.
Okay.
I have an axe. I'm not very good at the fine work, but I can bring you trees.
And I can whittle them down and get them in place. We're not going to be moving very fast with this the cart the way it is, so might as well get it up and going.
Heather will kind of call out, "What's the damage?" "Well, we got a couple extra wheels if necessary, but
Well, it seems to be a little bit more than just wheels. It's not terribly bad though. I mean, a couple hours and it should be not right as rain, but good enough to go.
As long as we're on schedule. Boys, we're not sleeping tonight. Everyone keep your eyes out. He looks pointedly towards two of the individuals who are supposedly on watch. And abruptly walks over to them and starts quickly reprimanding them. Your small things like, this is coming out of your pay. Things like that.
So I'll ask Benji, kind of walk over to Benji, and if you can fasten me up a little sled real quick that I can attach to my steed here, I can go out and get a couple trees, bring them back.
Well, you're gonna have to bring me at least one tree first.
Hi. Oh,
There's a couple that are like right here, very easy to cut down.
we'll start hacking away at one of those.
Okay. And probably one of the person who chopped the firewood for the night will also see you do this. Half-orc gentleman. Probably skinnier than the others, but longer limbs, more wiry. You cut that side, I'll cut this side.
Hey.
Cut quicker.
Hi, you're smarter than you look.
Thanks.
And I'll start sorting away.
Torin, kind of as he's handing Benji tools that he actually knows what they are, Torin can't help but look at Orsic and the orc chopping the tree. How's their technique?
My technique is like I'm trying to kill something. Like I'm not really chop trees down very often.
He's attacking the tree.
Yeah. The orc seems to know what he's doing with chopping wood, as that's kind of like his... He probably does it every time they make camp.
Right.
Orsic, we need boards, not toothpicks.
Torin just kind of sighs.
Right, well, then here's my axe, and you come over and show me then. That's what I thought. Now you do what you want, what you're good at, and I'll do this.
Using a battle axe for a wood chopper.
Torin's tempted to go show him, but nah. And he would have gone giant size to do it just to make a point, but he's not going to do that.
Just push it over.
Push it over.
Yeah, first I'll make I'll fashion a little sled to help carry bigger bundles of wood that Orsic can carry or drag behind his horse.
Would say the sled would take you just as much time to make as fixing the wagon. Most likely.
Not. I was kind of envisioning just like a couple of like almost like a pallet that is like a pallet with like a rope or something.
Just a few logs
fasten
together. They do have actually some firewood that you could probably use for that then.
My thought almost was like a gurney drag, kind of just two long sticks and a fabric.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, and they can use like a tent for that too, like strong tarp. Okay.
We're not going to be needing tents tonight.
Yeah, everyone is staying up.
But as we're fixing up the caravan, Benji would turn to as Torrance handed him tools, and Torrance working. You know your way around some tools. Where'd you learn?
Things break at a farm all the time.
What'd you grow?
Oh, mostly root vegetables.
There's a lot of tools needed for that. Just a shovel, right?
Well, we had to have a cart, barrels, small barn. tools. And then the house itself was made of wood, too. My mother keeps punching holes through the wall.
Ah, that explains a little bit more.
Hmm.
Lots of repairs. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Let's say with
I
your
can't help but think about the possibilities of, well, why we were attacked. And why they didn't keep attacking.
I don't know. Maybe they're just testing our reaction. Maybe we put up a little bit more of a resistance than they thought. Or they're just trying to wear us down.
Yeah,
Or they
perhaps.
were paid to hinder the caravan and not, well, kill everyone.
Why? What do you think there, Zeke?
I think it is a bit suspicious, especially. I don't know if they purposely targeted the money cart, but they made a mess of things. That is for sure. Whether they will come back, I do not know. It's a fine mess.
I wonder if we were being followed for a long time, or they had foreknowledge of where we'd be stopping.
Right. Or even a setup. Who knows?
All I can do is keep on working now.
Seems like
Find
an
out.
The quicker we can get moving, the very better.
We'll say Torn and Benji, either both of you or one of you, can give me a tools check with either survival or just a straight intelligence or a sleight of hand check. Since you're both proficient, you both have advantage. Proficient with the tools.
You said both of us or just one of us?
Both of you.
Advantage intelligence.
Okay. Oh.
Hey, nice.
It would seem Torn is quite knowledgeable about how the woodwork goes. It seems like it's like almost like a specialty. About the different grains and I don't know other details of wood. Precise thickness of chopping, cutting, sawing, and nail placement. Maybe some wood glue. He tells you all about those things in his own way.
Normally, I'm not a fan of butt joints, but you make them look good.
But
A little woodworking humor there.
As you work on the cart, it's probably into the late hours of the evening. So no one will get a long rest tonight. However, everyone can get a short rest, should you choose.
okay.
And I'll say, because it's still like under conditions of, I'm not going to say give me a con save for, just you don't get a long rest tonight. You get a short one. Might get an hour or so of shut eye through the evening.
Oh, why didn't that fix it?
I gain nothing on the short rest.
Why didn't
Yeah, I have no need to take a short rest, so
Yeah.
Torin will oh, ha.
Uh-huh.
Torin's going to spend a wild shape to get back a first level spell slot, since he'll get the wild shape back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And by the wording, I would maintain my familiar.
It's like lasts for like 24 hours, something like that.
Well, it says until a long rest.
Yeah, there you go.
Or
it doesn't
if,
sleep
to
until
be
you do.
fair. Okay. All right.
Or what were you gonna say?
Sounds good to me. Or I'll spend that spell slot if that's the ruling, but
No,
it's
I'll
only
say
one
it
first
stays
level
awake
spell
as
slot.
long as you are. Because if it used to be 24 hours, and I know they changed the wording on a lot of spells, so more things are based on long rest and stuff. So that makes sense. You're not getting
Checking
one.
it, but
Neither is your owl. But
yeah, it disappears when you finish a long rest.
as dawn rises, a little almost later than everyone. It was just kind of this night of waiting. You know, like watch pot never boils kind of thing. A well looked after caravan never gets attacked. Perhaps. Well, breakfast is served to kind of help give everyone energy in the morning, so maybe extra portions all around, except for the two guys who are on watch at that time. The only people that seem to have actually gotten any sleep are the drivers and the animals, who didn't even seem to even care that there was a scuffle. Like, they are well-trained beasts of burden. The horses were probably the most scared. But even then, as everyone starts to kind of get their stuff together. What is the campfire meal for the morning? Sausage, or is it like leftover stew? Smoked meats?
I mean, I think most of us are ready to get back moving. So I would say just some bread and some dried meats, something that we can eat relatively quickly and get packed up. And
Absolutely. Yeah, just everyone gets a small slice of bread and extra heaping portions of meat. So it's like a open-faced sandwich almost that has a little too much meat on it. And also a little chewy because salted. But Haler kind of rounds everyone up. Well, let's be on guard. I don't know what that was about last night, but hate to see it repeated. And the train starts going down the road in the light of day. As this morning, there'd be maybe a little fog over the rolling hills. But it wouldn't be long before you see the sights of farmland, the outskirts of Redlark. It's not too uncommon for caravans to pass through Redlark. Notably, there would probably be several other caravans staying in Redlark. It's definitely not something like the caravan's not stopping here. They are continuing to go. So eyes are being kind of drawn to this moving caravan, since the others in town are almost like too scared, too afraid or perhaps just overcautious and are, well, waiting out whatever this is that's happening in the Somber Hills. What,
Are we stopping?
There, the caravan's not. You guys can stop if you want to try and catch up, if you're able. But I would say, Torn, you would know that your mother's home, or your home, isn't too far away from Red Lark. Which direction is entirely up to you. So if you wanted to, you could possibly make a trip that way. Or maybe on the way back when you're not in a hurry. Entirely your call.
Yeah, Torin is concerned that his mother would probably try to make him stay on the farm. And even a sacrificial dwarf won't get him out of that. So he'll keep going.
All right.
But he's definitely got an eye out as we go through the town, just in case she makes a rare appearance in town.
You know what? Roll me a d20.
16.
Let's say with a 16, no. You do not see her large form walking the streets. But people would recognize you and give you nods. And probably even people might recognize Benji because there's several craftsmen in the town of Red Lark. There's a leather workshop. There's 2 Wainwrights. Not to mention like a clothier, a small smith, which isn't really anything of note. Like you would probably like, it's pretty shoddy work. But there is a secondhand collector in town who does. He's not a smith, but he does collect weapons. But is often too honest about things. So you might see people that you might recognize passing by. Some would give waves, others would give curious glances. Others kind of give loosely frightened looks by some of the glances from the others on your caravan, because some of them do look a little bit like rough customers. Like they've seen a fight or two, and several of them are half-orc. They just might be a little too rugged for this, well, rugged town. And as you're going through the day, it's, again, rolling hills, but as you veer north on the long road, start to go through the actual more like craggy hills. There'd be steep, I'd say cliff sides going in different directions depending on where you are on the path. And the long road is a well-marked pathway. There's typically old, I would say old bits of wall that are still remaining from an old pathway. And I would say Benji and Orsic would recognize this as old dwarven kind of work. But is ancient, and it's kind of like a common sight in the Somber Hills, so doesn't stand out too much, but it's still nice to see. And the caravan doesn't even stop for lunch. Some people are eating as you go, kind of taking turns sitting on the wagons. But as the sun does eventually start to set, as you are kind of on the northern, well, kind of right in the middle of the Somber Hills there. Actually, you probably get crossing the hills. right at the edge of them. As the sun does start to go down, you start to see the hues of purple and orange. And Haler would kind of approach you all either separately or as a group as the caravan is starting to slow down for the evening. You guys seem to know your way around things. Reacted quickly there.
We've seen a battle or two in our time. Not quite sure how we got snuck up on like that, but
Yeah,
we'll have to get closer.
I know of a few campsites up ahead. One of them similar to the one we had last night. The other, though, overlooks some hills, so if anyone has the high ground in those situations, it's us. Or the other side is the road, so we'd easily see anyone coming. Any advice on setting up defenses tonight for my men?
I say we take the high ground. The high ground is more often than not where we would have the advantage. I think we have a couple folks with us that might be able to help keep watch, but
Perhaps we bring the carts in more together and have the guards on the outside.
Don't let the carts get shot at.
It is true.
Yeah.
Aye. Holy shit.
And we'll keep
Didn't
more
think-
people outside of the carts. That's a good idea. Probably more light too, so we can. I noticed it's hard to see outside of the camp, so maybe lighting some torches. What I was thinking, maybe we could.
Aye. And in light of recent events, I say we spread our drinking water out a little bit in case we have need of quick access to water.
Fair enough. Well, we got 2 barrels, so we'll put one on either side of the camp, so they're easier to access. Any
After
other
that,
thoughts?
it's-
Yeah.
Being vigilant and kind of turn to. Well, I'm just going to assume the whole crew is.
Yeah, you guys
nearby.
are all like he'd probably as it's slowing down, he'd probably motion for you guys all to kind of gather up because he wants your opinion.
Torin, you said they were elves, eh? The last one.
Yes.
I think we got an elf here near us. Any suggestions? Tactics? Anything like that, Lucky?
Well, being on the high ground is where we like to fight from, and also in the trees. But being up on the high ground and maybe not having such a campfire is not as big as the night before. Maybe we have 1 or 2 smaller fires as opposed to one big one.
I was thinking about spreading them out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe have more smaller torches. Trees, you say? Well, we can chop a few down if there are any around.
Well, don't chop a tree down if you don't have to.
We can use it
I'm a
as
good elf,
firewood.
and I just mean keep your eyes to the trees.
All right.
I've
well,
spent my
yeah.
Don't you
Yeah.
think that if they're pursuing or following us, they know where we are already?
I doubt would be struck by the same hooligans a second time. And my worry is
Themselves
there's
or
bandits everywhere, so you never know.
no, elves are pretty good trackers, man. If they want to get you, they'll get you.
Well, we've got a camp. I think the biggest thing is that we spread our light out. Make sure we're not all in one spot. make sure we're the hard targets and make sure we have the high ground. Other than that, we just have to be vigilant.
All right. I'll let the troop know. I don't want to go without sleep this evening, though, so watches will be set. I will have the majority of them sleeping outside of the wagons as they are sleeping. Maybe watches can be more readily available. Yeah.
I think that's as best as we're gonna do.
I think
don't-
if we put some ink on their eyelids, makes it look like they're sleeping with their eyes open. Makes it maybe look like they're still awake.
I think I've
Well,
seen
don't
that one
everybody
time.
agree all at once?
Oh no, sounds like a fantastic idea.
Okay. You got any ink?
No, of course.
Well,
We'll produce the ink. If you need me to apply, I can definitely help you out with that too.
yeah, when we set up camp, I'll send everyone over to you before they bed down. We'll have a light meal and try and get some sleep early. Got a long day ahead of us. But it's a straight shot from here to Tribor, so should be easy roads. Yeah. It would probably be like another 30 or so minutes as the sun is setting more, the hues get darker. Cloud cover is pretty good this evening, which kind of helps create those tones as they illuminate through the clouds. But it is kind of like just as he explained. It's on the side of the road, a large campsite that is kind of overlooking several smaller cliffs off to the side of the road, and plenty of room. So the camp is not necessarily spread out, but the fires are, where the wagons are more close-knit. Sleeping positions are further apart. And he'll kind of give the similar speech that you guys told him, but in his own words kind of thing. And he will send people to see Benji. They start to talk about their watch order.
I set up like a face painting booth.
Okay.
and the first like half of them are like pretty good realistic eyes, and then toward the end I'm kind of getting a little bored and I start like going with like zombie
Tiger's
looking
eyes.
faces.
Okay.
And, yeah, tiger eyes and just like big eyes.
Okay. Yeah, so it gives them kind of like almost like war paint kind of feel. Like even though it might be kind of comical in a sense, there is still this they're tough guys, so they're gonna, does it look good? Yeah, you look like
I wouldn't want to see the other guy.
yeah, that's how I'd say it. What is everyone's ritual to kind of bed down? Where are you planning on bedding down, and how are you guys taking watch orders?
Zeke will take a first watch as he tries to figure out what to do, as the sleeping quarters are now completely burnt and covered in piss.
Well, they're you don't have a pillow, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They would have probably like rinsed off the cart, but there's still a scent to it for sure.
Yeah. But he'll take a first watch.
Okay.
Nobody minds, and then he'll bed down underneath the cart.
Orsic will kind of walk over to Lucky and be like, well, still a little light outside, so maybe take your rest now. I'll watch for you and wake you up in a couple hours when it's your time of the night.
I appreciate that. Yeah, just wake me up, buddy.
Is Orsic taking first watch with Zeke, or is he taking second watch? I'm gonna split up
I'm
into 4 watches. Lucky can take
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, I'm gonna take first watch
Okay.
as well. So we have 2 guys out.
Zeke and Orsic taking the first watch. There would be 3 guards on watch as well, aside from you guys. So they're upping it from 2 to 3. Is anyone taking second watch?
I can do it.
So I'll be on the second and third watch.
Or third and fourth, entirely your call.
I only need 4 hours, and there are 4-hour blocks for these
They're
watches.
2-hour blocks.
2-hour blocks. Okay,
So essentially,
I'll take
2 times 4 is 8. So 8 hours of a rest.
Yeah, I'll take the third and fourth.
Okay. Is Torin wanting to stay up, or is he wanting his beauty sleep?
He's used to waking up early, so he would wake up early enough to take the 4th watch.
Okay. That look right. First is Zeke and Orsic, second is Benji, third is Lucky, fourth is Lucky and Torin.
I think that works.
Okay. And all the while, Torin's owl is still on the lookout. So whenever anyone will roll a perception check, we'll just roll with advantage as you keep an eye out. But yeah, I'm gonna say everyone give me a perception check with advantage.
Thanks for the advantage.
Okay.
Double 20s over there, Tommy. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, as you're all staying quite vigilant this evening, Zeke and Orsic, is there anything you're doing on your watch? Or are you just sitting there in silence, staring out into the darkness, hoping it doesn't stare back?
No, I'm not sitting anywhere. I'm kind of walking the perimeter, talking to the guards that are on watch,
Yeah.
making sure they're alert, nobody's fallen asleep, and just doing the best I can to kind of roam the premises and make sure everything's in order.
Zeke's watching the dark spots.
Okay. And also notably, Orsic, your horse is still active until it dies.
Perfect. Then I'm on the horse.
Okay.
Well, kind of like walking the perimeter. Oi, Don't close your eyes. Need you to keep watch.
Yeah, I was watching the cow because it was looking at my face funny. I think it's because of the face paint.
You're probably right. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, the watch goes by uneventfully. As Benji, how are you taking to your watch by yourself and 3 other individuals from these guards here?
I think that I'm, for the most part, I'm kind of going over the carriages and the carts and just kind of making sure that they're still up in good shape over the day, and just checking things over, and then just probably chilling with the people, the 3 guards, and just keeping an eye out.
Yeah, and they're not in one central space. They're definitely spread out to keep
Yeah,
watch on the
kind of
edges.
bounce from each one.
Okay. As you bounce between them, they probably tell you, little remarks like, "This reminds me of the time when I was taking caravan from Waterdeep. Bandits then too. Hey, they set one of the things ablaze. I think it was around these kind of places, around the hills here. Huh. I don't know what it was then.
You're saying fires are common around here?
I wouldn't. Just the one time. That was 2 years ago. Just, like times remind you of like times, right?" As Pax wakes up in the middle of the night.
Oh, hey there, old man. Perfect time. Join me in this watch.
What are we looking at?
I was trying to make sure that nothing gets burned down again.
And this is the next night. The more watches are had, it's brighter. What is Pax doing on the watch?
Looking for fire.
Well, there's fire in the camp, but nothing is on fire. There's several torches that have been scattered throughout, as well as lanterns lit, and fire burning in a couple of places for warmth and for light.
What about for cooking?
Yeah, there's a cooking fire going.
Who's cooking?
It would probably be dim at this point because it is late at night. This is the second watch, so this would be like from 11 to 1. So nobody is cooking. Everyone is mostly asleep aside from you and Benji and 3 other guards on watch.
Cats woke up for mid-racks.
Woke up for what?
Mid-rats.
What's that?
The 4th meal of the day.
Okay.
The Marines get tired of standing in line for 3 meals, so they get a 4th one, so they can do it all again the next day.
There's definitely snacks to be had. As you eat, you can keep watch. Owl still circling overhead occasionally. This goes by uneventfully as well. As you start to try to get some actual sleep tonight. As Benji would wake up Lucky. Benji and Pax would together wake. One of you guys wakes up Lucky. As Lucky. It's just you, the darkness, and 3 individuals. We'll say 2
So-
2 half orcs, 1 other non-orc. I don't have a good like
So-
resting music.
If I'm in the dark, they can't see me, right?
That would be correct.
So, I mean, hopefully they know my voice by now. I wouldn't be
Rock flick.
like totally fucking with them, but I'm totally gonna like fuck with them because I'm in the dark and just be like, "Hey, did you guys see that? Oh man,
Like what?
what's that? What's that noise?" And then just be like, "Ah, it's me, Lucky. It's okay, guys. It's just me."
Give me a deception check.
Okay. Oh shit! I rolled an advantage.
No, you nat 20. I'll take the first roll. What? And one of them like draws a blade and starts looking over there. Over there?
Over
And
there.
then and you laugh and they're like, "Oh, you had me going. That was like, I thought I heard something." And then Lucky.
And then you swear you hear the owl go, ugh.
Lucky. Almost at the same time, you and the owl. Like the owl would see some movement. Lucky. You would hear the light rustle of rock moving around, creeping close to the edge of the camp. Nope, wrong one.
So in a more serious tone,
Yeah.
I would say, "All right, y'all. I actually heard something. I'm gonna go investigate."
All right. Swords or bows?
And I go, "Y'all stay here. Draw bows. I'm going in with swords,
All right.
and I'm gonna go start to investigate."
As they start to kind of peer over where you disappear. Yeah. Lucky as you're stepping off into darkness. Most of this cliffside is pretty well lit. But probably if you climb down slightly, there would be easily into darkness. Easily.
Yeah, I'd like to try to stick to darkness as best as possible.
Okay. Say go ahead and give me a stealth check. You are invisible, but your feet can still make noise.
Boom, boom, boom.
Ooh. Not bad, though. As you start to kind of dip down into the shadows, you see them. Sure enough, looks like about a dozen elves. One of them might not be an elf, has horns. There's a single, it looks to be draconic lineage humanoid. Rare sight in these parts, but you see them. They are creeping up. It looks like they're going to creep up top of the, like trying to slowly give hand signals to each other. They're being quiet. That's all they're doing is like kind of giving short hand signals. One just kind of waving on as you can see them starting to climb the cliff up towards the camp. The one awful hat looking woman is amongst the climbers.
Do I Do I have any line of sight on the fellows that I was on watch with, or no?
You can if you just kind of peek up over the ridge. Sure.
All right.
I would say you could see
Peek.
one of them. Actually, you can see. Yeah, you can see two of them. One of them's not too far from you, actually.
I'll cast message towards one of them and tell them 12 people, go wake everybody up, get ready. It's go time. And then go back down.
You would hear him kind of mumbling to himself. This guy can talk in his head. My head? My ear? That sounded just like that elf guy. Maybe it was him. Shit. And then you'd hear his footsteps start walking away.
I guess at this point, Torin would sit up.
Yeah.
And he will start to... He'll shove a snoring... Well, no. Yeah, Orsic. He'll shove a snoring Orsic. And say the elves are back. And he'll get up quickly.
And at this point, you would start to see one of these guards kind of going through the camp, starting to wake up people. Get your weapons. Get them. Alert the boss.
So, do I see that, like, anybody of them, they're all elves except for that one person, right?
No, there's a human, a tiefling, and a dragonborn. And then...
But majority, but a couple more elves.
And then a dozen elves.
So I'm still invisible, right?
Yeah. Some of them are moon elves, others are wood elves like you. Actually, no, the others are gold elves.
So if I talk out loud, will I become not invisible?
You will be invisible, but you will be heard, and your location will be given away.
So in Elvish, I'll just ask, what do y'all want? Why y'all coming after us?
As one of them, like, shit. Bows. They start drawing bows. They would say it in Elvish, too.
Yeah.
At this point, I am going to bring you to a map. I would like for you to place yourselves where you feel you are on this map. Lucky, you'd probably be your call if you want to be down, or if you want to be like right at the edge of the bottom of that cliff there.
So if I was down, would I still be able to like pop up and see the two dudes I was, or would I have to be like where you first said I'd be?
You would have to be at the
Or
edge
the second.
there. So you'd be hanging on to the side of the cliff, kind of.
I'd say we'll stay there since I was able to pop back up.
Okay.
And still see like kind of the field.
And everyone essentially pick a sleeping place, and then you can be 30 feet from that sleeping place.
I mean, Torin, I don't know. I imagine we'd probably be not sleeping directly next to the fire. Yeah, that looks more like it. Probably there.
Around this guy's tent. You would start to get, they would all like you would start to hear rummaging as everyone kind of starts to get themselves prepared.
I'll ask Torin after you woke me up. Which way they're coming from? What do you know?
They're ascending the cliffs. And he'll point.
And then I would move toward it.
Say northward is where you would see them mostly. That's where your owl would have said it saw movement.
Then I would go ahead and hop on my steed. And move out this way.
Okay. Pax, where do you want to be? And Benji, you guys can move if you'd like, or you can stay put. I don't know where you're sleeping. I don't know where you're at.
Right here.
Okay. Pax, are you good with your location? Perhaps. All right. And that's where we're going to roll initiative. As several of them start to ascend the cliff. Just kind of
Everybody
like started to... Everybody roll initiative, yeah.
Everybody gets D4.
Plus a D4.
If you don't have it on your sheet toggled already.
But as we roll initiative here, I would... For future, Benji just roll the D4 and everyone gets the same D4.
Oh, yeah, so you said that last time.
Yep.
I forgot.
Yep. Just so it's not, very confusing to have to go back and look through all the rolls and stuff. Same thing with like any time something affects multiple people. I'm just going to have, mass healing word heals everyone the same amount, that kind of stuff. But that's also, we're going to take our little 5-10 minute break. So stay tuned. Stick around as the banditry is still afoot. We'll
It'd
see
be
you in
really
a minute.
nice if I could roll double digits on an initiative at some point.
Alrighty, folks. Welcome back. Last we left off, our troop, along with the soldiers or retinue of the caravan, were keeping a close eye on the watch. And I will also say, Lucky, you did have a long rest before I forget, because you only needed the 4 hours. But in the not having a good rest the night before leaves you a little bit tired. Everyone was on edge, very well keeping watch on things. In the wee hours of the night, around 2 o'clock in the morning, that same bandit troop that attacked you the night before is attacking you yet again. However, this time, Lucky saw them first and actually alerted everyone else as everyone started to kind of prepare themselves. There's a split moment where they were climbing the cliffs. Lucky spoke out to them, "Why are you all after us?" And they didn't answer except for with the word bows, as they all drew arrows. And Zeke, the sneak, you know what? Since you're up first, I'm going to let you choose. Do you want to listen to movement proposition, all this, crossing the chasm, or chase,
Uh,
or
what's the
dark one?
first one? Movement proposition. That sounds fun.
Rogue, I propose you move.
And some cross.
It's mostly
If this was Fable, you would get that.
Okay.
it's mostly grimace and stuff. But yes. These guys just stepped up, as they are surprised to see people that are ready for them.
And Zeke is going to move. You're right here.
Okay, and as you kind of get to the edge of the cliff, you see all these other people in the shadows. Several of them have bows drawn as they kind of look up towards their objective, which is... Some of them look up towards you. Since most of the people with bows in the back, the blue-skinned elves, have bows slightly aiming into the darkness somewhere that you can't see.
Okay. And these are guys, or are they also bad elves?
So I did it specifically so that you'd be able to tell. So the tan elves, as well as the cowboy hat wearing woman, and the blue elves, along with the tiefling and dragonborn, are your enemies. Whereas all of these half-orcs and the helmeted individuals are on your side.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna take a shot at the tiefling with my hand crossbow. At disadvantage.
Why would it be a disadvantage? He's within range of your hand crossbow.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, brother.
You do have the high ground, Anakin.
That is true. Yeah. You damage him and vex him as the arrow strikes him in his shoulder. He looks up. Little guy, get him! He's been vexed.
Okay. And I am going to... roll away. Back towards Orsic.
Right. Yeah, you got bonus action. You can dash, you can hide, do whatever you want.
Yeah. And then I'll hide underneath the wagon.
Okay. Give me a stealth check. As Zeke sneaks, that will take us to Lucky, who is kind of like hanging on the cliff there. Zeke disappears.
So
Which you can either pull up, barely still be in darkness, or you can drop down. If you wanted to shoot your bow or something.
Oh. I never damaged that guy. I'm gonna do damage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, you just vexed him. He'll take 9 piercing, actually.
if I move up, I'll still be invisible, but just barely.
Just barely. So the edge of the light. I'm trying to look at the closest light here. Would I think be this guy, this thing. And I believe, I don't want to lie to you, so I'm going to actually see what I have the token at. Is 27 feet from it. So as long as you're 30 feet away from that... Oh, you can't see where I'm measuring. Aha. Or can you?
Oh.
Treachery.
Oh, because I'm on the wrong... Aha. So here. So as long as you're 30 feet away from this light... 30 feet away, all of the torch lights, you're in darkness.
Okay. So I'll move up just to have my other hand back. I'm actually gonna cast Entangle
Okay.
down here.
Yeah.
I guess I more so want to get the Draconic guy. Yeah, perfect. And it's a strength 14
Okay.
save.
Got one of those guys. 4 of those guys. Ooh. One of them made it. Actually had the
Nice.
advantage. So this guy is the one who made it. Everyone else is entangled. Wrapped up in the
Okay.
wicked web you weaved.
And I want a bonus action Hunter's Mark on the Tiefling.
Okay. Yep, you can do that because reasons. So you will have to be up here. So if you're not, just so you know, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you pull yourself up, cast this entangle as roots, vines, grasp a hold of a bunch of people, and then you focus your eyes on the tiefling.
Mm-hmm. And that'll do it for me.
That will take us to these elves. They're gonna spend their turn. Also, I'm trying something new. You guys won't see their initiative. Aha. It'll be a surprise. They will each try to get out of there. Not at advantage, just regular. One of them succeeds. It is the first one again. He'll use all of his movement to get out. The other guy steps back. He's going to shoot at your general area. Hearing some casting. And that's where you spoke. So it's going to be at disadvantage against you, Lucky. You are still invisible. Getting a 12 to hit.
No.
Alright, second attack. Gets a 15.
That hits.
Alright. Strike you with one arrow for 10 points of damage.
Owie.
As it disappears into the darkness. He's in the shadows. I do not know where he is. Somewhere. I might have got him. I don't know.
He's fat.
Which will take us to the tiefling. Actually, Benji, what's your dex?
13.
13? Alright. That will take us to the tiefling then. As he is going to... Jigs up. Kill what you can. Light it all on fire. And gets up here. Climbing up behind the tan elves. And he is going to... You would see his hands light up with fire. As he's going to shoot past this soldier here. To the ox. As he shoots that ox in the face. You hear, "Oh." Ox is dead.
Oh no.
And then another blast
Who
of
did that?
fire shoots out towards... We're going to randomize it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 3, 4. It's going to be this guy.
Who shot the ox?
The tiefling with fire burned its face off, melted it. Missing this guy as the guy quickly ducks. That will take us to Benji.
I'm going to climb up on top of this cart.
Okay.
And I'll draw a fairy fire on this guy and this
I
guy.
can't see them.
No, too far away.
There's a cart in the way. A wagon.
That's why I'm standing on the cart. That's a smaller cart, I guess.
Yeah. It's a covered
That's
wagon.
over. Okay.
Maybe if you like went prone and looked under the wagon, you could see these guys.
And how elevated is this? This is like 15,
Like
20
15
feet?
feet, we'll say. Over here is more of a incline as opposed to a ledge. Over here, everywhere else is a ledge.
All right. In that case, I'll Draroon and pop over by Orsic,
Yeah, there you go.
and then I can see him.
Yep.
And I'll fairy fire.
Where at? Where's the
Uh,
centaur?
I'll get this guy and this guy.
Okay. As it lights up the space ever so lightly. Just do it. Did. And we'll bring it to the foreground. Alright. Dex save. Tiefling got a 6.
Nope. Oh, shiny leg.
Elf gets a 4. As they
You shiny
both glow
kitten.
with this inky light.
That'll do it.
Alright. Torin, you're up. Torin.
Okay. So, sorry, just double checking something.
Oh, you're good.
Torin frowns as he sees the ox killed for
With fire.
probably. Yeah, that's not really good. Those standing around Torin will notice that his long hair and beard start to rustle in the breeze. The wind in the area picks up. Leaves, small stones are sent scattering, and then the air seems to swirl and concentrate. And he's going to cast Wind Wall.
Ooh. Where's this wall
And
going?
so the wall will go. Oh, I hate to draw a free hand. This is
Do
gonna be
do
terrible.
if you go, can you do a pen line?
Well, it's going to be curved.
Yeah, you can still do it. Like draw a point and then a point and then a point. That makes it a little easier to do a straight line, and or like measure out if you want.
Oh, pin line.
Yeah, when you go to the draw, there's pen line under freehand. And if you want to keep it centered to the corners of the grid, if you hit shift click, it will automatically go to the corners. Like that. As this wind just kind of whooshes around.
I'm not getting it to do. Oh.
How long is it?
60 feet.
Ooh.
Oh. I mean, I can make it go a little further. Yeah, like that too.
Like 60 feet, you could be like...
Yeah, and just curve it a little bit, making it more difficult for them to try to run around. So pull it in on either side.
Okay.
Anyway,
Does
I don't want
it-
to hold this up.
No, you're good. If you tell me what it does.
So, make a wall up to 50 feet long, excuse me. So
Oh,
pull
okay.
it in a little bit. 15 feet high and 1 foot thick. You can shape it in any way as long as it makes a continual path. When the wind wall appears, each creature in its area makes a strength saving throw, taking
Oh.
48 bludgeoning damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. The
48.
strong wind keeps fog, smoke, and other gases at bay. Smaller flying creatures or objects can't pass through the wall. Loose,
Okay.
lightweight materials brought into the wall fly upward. Arrows, bolts, and other ordinary projectiles launched at the target behind the wall are deflected
Okay.
and miss automatically.
So roll me some damage, and I'll give you some saving throws. Well, what'd you say? Strength save? What con save?
Strength, DC 15.
Oh, one of them made it. I don't know if it'll matter. Yeah, it will.
13 points.
And let's see if the... So is it within 5 feet or just within the...
It says within range.
I thought you said 48
Within
points a
its
day.
area. Within its
4d8.
area.
4d8. Okay, I was like 48. Fuck.
So what is its area? Just a line?
Yeah, it's 1 foot thick, so I
Okay.
don't know if I'd get the tiefling, but I definitely would be able to hit that entire line.
Nope, nope, not that guy. And they're knocked back 15 feet? 10 feet?
They just take the damage.
Okay. Fair enough. She will just take that damage. As 3 guys go flying and just tumbling down the rocky cliffside. Anything else for Torin?
Yes. Then Torin will... Can't I... There we go. Torin will then... Yeah, as he begins to move away, in a fluid motion as he moves, his form shifts. He gets on all fours and becomes a bear.
Okay.
Then he hops over here and then moves behind the wagon.
Fair enough.
That's it.
Alright. Haler will then yell out, "Coming from the north! You! Watch the wagons! The rest of you! To the cliffs!" As they start to essentially get themselves ready. Spending their turn to prepare themselves. A couple of them will get shots off. And a couple do stay behind to protect some wagons from the other side. And a few of them will do some shooty shoot. As just gonna roll for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. We'll see what happens there. That will take us to the Dragonborn. As they do start, like, actually firing crossbows and bow and arrows. The Dragonborn will then... And you should try to get out of this. Do his best. Dragonborn's stuck. Taking us to this lady. As she will power through the wind wall. Right, does it extra movement for the wind wall?
Doesn't say.
Okay. So she will power through, drawing a blade, and just start going ham. Swipes through one guy. And then... Yeah, here's a fun thing. She pulls out a gun. A flintlock pistol. Aims it at one of the cows. It's the cow.
Yes.
As she shoots the cow in the side. It's very badly hurt.
Which cow?
This one. I'll mark it with the red. That will end her turn. Taking us to Orsic.
So that wind wall is persistent. then,
Yes.
Like,
And it's facing the other direction. Or is it? Is it one facing way?
You have it correct.
well, Orsic having no idea what this wind wall
You
is.
just hear wind whooshing.
So he'll kind of yell out, "The cowards are attacking the fucking defenseless animals!" And he's gonna charge with his horse. Into this space there. Into melee range
Yeah,
with the flintlock chick.
sure. Yeah, she's got a scimitar in one hand, pistol in the other.
Yep. And so tell me exactly. So I think I needed to say this beforehand. I am going to try to hit her
Okay.
with my axe.
Yeah.
I am to smite her. And
Don't call out smite until you hit.
And then, but I also want to use the vow of enmity too,
So call out a vow of enmity right now.
which I did that while I was charging, so that would be my vow of enmity.
Yeah.
Um,
As you just get ready to strike her, you will have advantage on all attacks against her until she dies.
and yeah, we're gonna fucking one-handed battle axe. There we go.
$13.
Well,
Yes,
I have
oh, you have advantage. Roll again. A 19. Looks like it would hit. She quickly parries it. As she just barely dodges out of the way. Just barely. It took everything she had to not get smashed.
Well, that took everything I had too. However, I do have a horse too that can attack, correct?
You do, but you also you also are 5th level, so you can make 2 attacks
Well, okay, correct. So we're gonna take that second attack.
at advantage.
That advantage. Now let me click that advantage on.
It's my turn.
Almost. The 21 will absolutely hit her. And so
Sweet.
now you would say
So-
you're gonna smite.
Yeah.
And you
So
can
now we're
determine
gonna-
whatever you want to do with that smite, what level or whatever.
Yeah, we're going. It's gonna be a first level.
Okay.
Smite. Yeah, we're just gonna do a regular smite. And it's going to be my non-spell slot smite, so it will be
Okay.
that plus that.
Oh, so you're doing a searing smite?
Oh no, I'm sorry, I hit the wrong one. I apologize.
You're good.
Yeah.
I mean, searing smite's not bad.
Nah, it's not.
It does persistent damage, whereas the holy smite or divine smite just does like.
I rolled it. I'm gonna keep it. I rolled it.
No, I mean it's entirely your call. I mean, you said divine. You said you're going to do your regular smite.
Okay, so then we'll.
Yeah, just roll the.
Damn. Okay, yeah, I'll take that.
For 25 points of damage with a single blow, as she is not knocked over somehow. As you just cut into her, blood slashes onto the ground as she kind of just takes a step back to kind of hold her ground as best she can, looking behind her, eyes darting. And yes, your steed can attack. It's otherworldly slam.
Yep, my otherworldly slam. So on this one, I don't really have a button to click on this.
You just click otherworldly, like the whole thing is clickable.
The whole.
Yeah. Just like that. 18 will hit her.
Oh, that was actually whispered to you.
Yeah, I have it set to where all things automatically whisper to me.
So that is a 1d8 plus 3?
It's already included.
Oh, okay.
The base stats are already included into the monsters block.
So then how do I roll the damage for that one?
The same way you would roll damage from you. Roll it in the chat where it says damage.
Oh, I can. Sorry, I don't usually use that in the chat.
Well, that's how you roll crit damage.
True.
As it will do. Double check if that might not be added. So that one is not added. The level. Which is interesting.
So that's a +2.
Okay. For 6 points of damage. She's still up. As the horse hooves her. Anything else?
She's a fucking tough one. Nope.
Alright. Paximilian. Behind the wagon.
All right, so while that happened, I saw a fireball hit Mabel.
Yeah,
and
you
somebody.
just saw like a bolt of fire shoot past the wagon. And then
Elsie got a hole in her.
Yep.
Oh, boom, boom. Looking, I see this crazy cowgirl. I'm gonna assume she's doing that since my buddy just attacked her, and I'm going for it.
Okay, so you're running up to her. Leaping over the tent. Give us a martial arts.
The whole round, the big one.
Plus if you provide you hit, because you can call that out also after you hit. So any of your special things, your stunning strike, your hand of harm, you can call out after you hit. Just like Orsic with his smite. You're going to want to roll to hit first.
Oh, didn't. What's happening?
We can keep that damage though. Or wait. Oh, that
I
is to
think
hit.
that's-
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. A 13 misses her. I'm still getting used to the new setup because like you see text on it like that's the description thing. It says damage and then over there is a number. A 14 also misses. Going for a bonus action swipe, 10 misses as well.
Oh, I thought I had to hit for the bonus action to count.
No. I mean, you don't have, like, you just straight up bonus action, so you just did 1, 2, and now you have the bonus action, take a second strike, or third strike, or you can flurry of blows for 2 more strikes. It does not depend on you
Yeah.
actually attacking with the first one.
All right, how many more times can I try?
No more, because you didn't tell me what you're doing. So it seemed like you were just making a third swing with your bonus action. Unless you're doing a flurry of blows, in which case you will say,
Yeah,
I'm
that
doing
was a flurry.
Okay, so you will have 1 more attack. That's one of those things you have to, you do have to call out beforehand. Like, I'm going to spend my focus points to do a flurry of blows. Roll a 4th
So I've
attack.
used 1 focus point already. Can I use another one?
For, like, you can make it a stunning strike or the other thing, if provided you hit. Hand of Harm.
Okay.
You do indeed hit.
I'm gonna do it harmfully.
All right. She's bracing herself from being axed by Orsic. Quickly rush behind her. Roll some of that damage. $18 points of damage. Yeah, as you just kind of palm her right in the back as this kind of the breath gets knocked out of her, literally. She coughs up blood and falls to her face. Dead.
Yes.
Anything else for Pax?
That's what I call heavy petting.
I'll use my last 2 to go towards it. I can't do nothing else.
All right. Going towards it being the cow.
Yeah, because Maribel already got taken out, but Elsie just,
It's fair.
she's still alive.
That will take us to Sun Elves. Torn, do they take the damage at the end of the turn if they end their turn there, or at the beginning of their turn?
Only when the spell is initially.
Okay. Otherwise,
wall
it's just the...
appeared.
Okay, I got you. So this guy will swing out at Orsic with his scimitar. You'll pay for that! Getting a 9 to hit. Which misses Orsic. As he turns around, boss, they killed boss! Yeah. He's then gonna run. Orsic, you can make an attack opportunity, if you would like.
Absolutely.
As he tries to run down the hill. You do hit him.
I do hit him.
As
All right.
he only has 4 hit points left, so you absolutely kill him. As he goes tumbling down.
Because I rolled a 1.
that even works. As the other one will look down there as he rolls to the bottom. Hey! And he's going to shoot Orsic with a crossbow. Getting a 12.
And that fucking bounces off his shoulder, and he
Yeah.
turns to.
Which one shot?
Oh, it doesn't do it. Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it bounces off the wind wall.
Yeah.
Come at me, you fucking cowards!
No. They'll take us to Zeke, who's very sneaky.
Did I hear that small creatures can't pass through the wind wall?
You're unsure. You don't know what it's. You just hear a gust of wind blowing.
Okay. Zeke's gonna run up to, try to run up to the tiefling. Oh no, I don't want to do that.
Wait, bad idea.
It's not really a whole lot of, wait, hold on, I have an idea.
You could shoot her. Or him.
I thought
because-
arrows.
No,
Oh,
the spell says launched at targets behind the wall are deflected upward and miss automatically. So if you think about the direction the wind is blowing,
Right.
it's blowing at them. So if you shoot, it'll still go through.
No.
faster.
No, it won't. The wind rises from the ground. So it goes straight up.
That makes sense.
Oh, what are you, a scientist?
No, but it says ordinary projectiles launched at targets behind the wall.
Which is, both sides are behind the wall. It doesn't
Yep.
have a facing.
Oh yeah.
Wall of
Boo.
Fire states
Oh, well.
it has a facing. But it rises, so
Sorry,
so
Zeke.
any projectile will rise up. As you just hear gusts of wind.
Okay. I, in that case, am going to run this way. How far down is that?
What is this way?
Going down here.
That's about 15 feet drop.
15 feet drop.
Yeah.
Can I?
I will also say all these guys are restrained.
Oh,
Just throwing
I
it
didn't
out
even
there.
see that. Yeah, I gotcha. So I'm gonna shoot at that guy with my hand crossbow.
Okay. At advantage.
Forgot those guys were. Yeah.
They've been tangled. Oh wait, no, this guy might not be actually. They're not the guy you're shooting at. Go ahead and roll me an attack. No, he's still stuck. Yeah, you hit him. You have advantage if you want to roll to see if you go fishing.
Red fishing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll take the
All right,
first one.
take the first one. That 24 absolutely hits.
All right, and since he's strained, I get sneak attack off, right?
That is correct. Also because you had advantage on the attack.
Okay.
Multi-purpose. Yeah, you just shoot him in the neck as he falls on to the roots.
Okay. I think that's a good spot for me to perch up, and I'll stay there.
Okay. That will take us to Lucky. Oh, I forgot to do those two guys last time. Either way.
So can I run through the air wall?
Sure. I mean,
To
you
her,
don't know.
like
you guys
there?
don't. You guys don't know what you could do with the air wall.
Cool. I'm gonna run right there
You do it.
and see what happens with my
It's-
blades out.
It's windy. Heckin' windy.
You're having an
Cool.
El Fabio moment with your golden locks
Mhm.
floating in the wind and
With my
living your
blades
full
drawn.
elven fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, somebody understands.
And attacks will have
Um,
advantage against this guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna I got the blades out and I'm going to gonna strike with that scimitar first.
Okay. Yep.
We're gonna add a dreadful strike to that as well.
As the shadows cling to your blade. 12 points of damage.
And then we'll hit it with the good old Nick with the short sword. Is that an advantage too?
It is at advantage
Yeah.
too, yeah, because he is fairy fired. His fire has been fairied. That fairy's been fired. 25 absolutely hits him. There's nothing you can do about that one.
Put that off. Hit that.
10 more points of damage. You stab
And then
into
we're
him.
gonna.
And you get an extra attack now with
Uh-huh.
your scimitar.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
Oh, I know. I got that. I got that extra attack, man. Oh, I played Vic, dude. Remember?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't very long at
Um,
level 5, but yeah.
Yeah, I still got that extra attack, and that's with the short sword or the scimitar.
It would be with the scimitar because that's your main hand.
Yeah,
That's what you.
That's
what you
it.
attacked with first.
yes. Let's do it again.
Yep.
Just call
Just
Lucky
tearing
Blender.
into this as the wind's just blowing all around you for 12 points of damage. Anything else for Lucky?
Do I get to Nick with that again or no?
No, it's just with the. For you, it doesn't use your bonus action, so you still have your bonus action, but you can't spend it to make another attack unless there's a feat you can take later on, 2-weapon fighting or dual wielding.
I have 2-weapon fighting.
So it's dual wielding then.
Dual wielding. Okay. Copy
Not
that.
not the fighting style. It's another thing that lets you take a second attack with your offhand as a bonus action.
10-4. No, I'm just gonna stay right there in his face.
All right, that will take us to some blue guys. There's a particular gnome who's standing on a ledge. One blue guy's going to try to get out first. Nope. These two blue guys, interesting because they're not shooting through the wall, they're shooting. I'll give them disadvantage on the attacks against Lucky. 2 of them are going to shoot Lucky. Getting a 7, a 16, a 14, and a 6.
So a 7, a 16, a 14, and a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Only one hits.
As the wind pushes 2 of them out of the way, and arrows go flying, takes 9 points of piercing damage. However, these 2 kind of getting a vantage point on the gnome over there, who I will give cover to, because you're small and you're on the ledge. Yeah, they're all the 4 arrows coming your way, Zeke. Zeke getting a 20, a nat 20, a 7, and an 11. So you'll add plus 2 to your AC.
Then that 20 hits.
All right. And does the regular 20? Regular 20 hits too, yeah.
Or 20 hits too, yeah.
All right, so the regular 20 does 4 points of piercing damage, while the critical hit deals 9 points of piercing damage. As they will all start to back up a little bit. Not only to get a better vantage point, but they are doing some mental math there on the number game. That's going to take us to the Tiefling. Face to face with Vic.
Lucky.
They're the same thing. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Well,
Just
except for viewers at home. Yeah. So in this wind, as you're looking badass with your scimitar and short sword, hair flowing, his eyes glare with red fire as it just kind of blows in the wind as he looks even more evil because of the wind flowing. And in his hands ignite as a hammer appears in his hand made of fire. As it, blowing in the wind, slams out towards Vic. Getting a 22 with his first attack.
That hits.
As Vic, you take 11
Bless
points of bludgeoning damage and 3 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And for his second attack, as you can't really hear him, he looks like he's muttering something to you, but the wind is just blowing and howling around. Second attack out of 23.
That hits.
Smacks into you. For a total of 14 damage.
Lucky's down.
His lucky drops. Makes eyes at Orsic. And even Zeke to a degree, but mostly Orsic because you're right there. Looks at Vic. Looks lucky. Damn it. It's because we were talking about Vic, so now it's stuck in my head now. I'll be better by next session.
I miss him too.
Yep. Looks down at Lucky. Looks at Orsic. He tries to spit on the ground. As he does, it flies up in the air, looks confused, shrugs, and then walks away.
Orsic bangs his shield and yells at him while he walks away. Just "Rah!"
As he seems very nonchalant about the whole ordeal. It almost like he wasn't making threats, but he was like, "You see what I can do." As he looked down at Vic.
And I scream out, "Coward!"
I don't think it's the Benji.
Oi, Lucky, get back up. Do a healing word.
All right. It's Lucky. You barely hear the voice of Benji call out to you. Through the wind. What's a healing word? 9.
My man.
Then I'll draw a portal and pop over by Zeke
On the ledge there?
on a ledge.
As you fall
and-
15 feet down?
Oh, I'm not on the ledge. I'm in like the edge of the ledge.
Nope, there's no ledge there.
Okay, so I have to be here then.
Yeah, you can be there.
Okay.
Be like a Bugs Bunny thing. I'd teleport over, then whoop, drop.
I've done that already.
We've already been over this.
Yo,
Running in midair like Wile E. Coyote.
Yep.
so I'm on the ledge here.
Yeah.
So then I'll pull out a dagger and I will throw a dagger at the T-frame.
All right. At advantage.
That's
That's so straight roll. Yeah.
farther than 20 feet. But I'll do a true strike as well.
Okay. I don't think I have a true strike set up for you.
You don't.
Yeah.
I need to get my crossbow first.
That's
Nope.
a miss.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. That'll take us to the bear. A lot of stuff happened in a short period of time here.
Okay. He will continue moving. He'll kind of, just trample over the tent.
Okay. Yeah.
because, and
'Cause bear.
he'll get right over the tent, and his form will meld back into Torin. He'll look back at the dead pack animal, and the wind wall will vanish. Then, all of a sudden, clouds will begin to amass overhead. The clouds will get progressively darker. Rumblings of thunder can be heard. And as the clouds swirl overhead, Torin will point down at the tiefling,
Okay.
and a bolt of lightning will come crashing down.
It strikes him true.
"17 points of lightning
He
damage."
will take 17 points of lightning. He's zapped.
And then, let's not be dumb about this. Torin will step back behind the wagon a little bit,
Okay.
and the clouds overhead will continue to roll, and lightning will crackle in the sky.
That will take us to your allies. As several of them got into good positions, they will now have advantage on their attacks.
It's my turn.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
It's the warriors' turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. They're just shooting at the closest targets. As they drop these two archers here who shot at Zeke last time. That will take us to the Dragonbone. And once again, try to break free, seeing arrows fly and other people dropping. Getting a 10 on his save. Oh! No, he doesn't need to. Hunter's Mark. So as soon as that's my fault for not catching it earlier. Because you have Hunter's Mark on them. Can't concentrate.
Bum bum bum.
And yeah. The Dragonborn. With his longbow out. Will take multiple shots. Benji, Zeke, and Orsic. As rapidly firing. And you know what? Benji saw you cast magic, but he did see Orsic slash and he'll do the advantage on Benji.
I barely threw a glowing dagger.
Yeah.
That's fine though.
Gets a 23 to hit Benji.
Yeah.
You take 7 points of piercing damage.
Ow.
Against Zeke. It's almost like kind of like aiming his bow. Why does it keep rolling those 3d6? What is that about? Oh. Okay, so that Benji will also add 13 to that. That's what that's about. On the attack that was made with advantage, he gets plus 3d6. Zeke getting a 10 to hit, which misses, and then towards Orsic getting a 16 to hit. which misses as well. You can almost hear him say, "We getting out of here?" The tiefling just gives him a nod. He starts running. And he's actually fast. It takes us to Orsic. What's Orsic doing?
Orsic is full on that tiefling, and he's going to spur his mount, and we're going to go right off that cliff.
Give me an athletics check for your mount. Which will just be a strength.
Hold on, let me pull up that.
It gets +4.
Strength.
The strong boy. Okay. Your steed will take 6 points of damage as it leaps, but that's nothing.
Yep. And we're gonna charge right up to the tiefling.
Okay. The
And
elf
in-
will slash at you with the scimitar as you go by.
Great.
He'll slash at your horse, actually. Getting a 22 to hit.
And that hits.
For 4 slashing damage.
And pretty much in stride as the, we'll say, sword slashes the side of my mount, but we're charging, and in stride we're gonna swing at the tiefling there.
Okay. Add advantage. Actually, Benji, give me a constitution save.
Very fair.
It was DC. How much damage you take? 20?
DC 10.
Okay, yeah, you're good. So yes, Orsic at advantage. It's gonna miss.
All right. Well, we're gonna attack him again.
Do it again. $16 just hits.
And we're gonna blast him with just a regular good old divine smite.
Okay. Same thing. For 25 points of damage. As your axe cuts into him, this light illuminates, deepens the cut, deepens the wound, as he is nearly split in two as fires burst out of him. He falls into a loosely charred remains on the ground.
And as the axe swings up through the body, Orsic follows through with that axe into his shield, clangs his shield, and says, "Fight me!"
Hell yeah, brother.
That'll take us to PAX.
Pat's gonna walk by Maribel, pat her head, and then is moving to Elsie and gonna do healing hands.
Okay. Punch this cow in the face. It feels better. Hey! That's pretty good. I know, what is your healing hands on this cow like? The steer. Ox.
I'll look at the wound. I kind of get. Can I see a bullet or?
I would maybe. I would. It's embedded a little bit. You know, like old. It's the ball bullets, like old flintlock pistol. So it's nothing major. It's in there and it's gnarly looking.
All right, then I've got the glow on my hand, and I reach in and I do a little 3-finger. My skinny bone fingers. I grab that out, and then I get my little silver needle. Put 3 of them like in a triangle around the wound, and then just do healing, and it goes through the needles into the thing.
Bessie looks better. Is it Bessie?
That's Elsie.
Elsie looks better. Anything else for Pax?
And then I'm gonna go inspect Martha.
Martha is shaken but unsure what to do with herself.
All right, I'll pat her on the head. And about that time, I guess I'm hearing him yell at her again, so I'm gonna move back towards it.
All right. That'll take us to these. Well, I guess if you wanted a bonus action, you could dash if you wanted. Actually, it's entirely your call. Or if you're just nonchalantly walking over.
Sure, I'll dash.
Okay. See, because your monkness, you can climb down that hill that area pretty easily. Better than a horse can.
Like an old gray-haired monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're hopping
Mhm.
down. Oh, you're getting right into that guy's face. He's gonna slash out at you. Because that's his turn next. Actually, you know what? He's not gonna slash out. He's going to disengage. And run. Actually, what's the quickest way? This way. Doop-a-doop.
Yeah, but that's right past.
He disengaged.
He can disengage from 2 people?
When you take the disengage action, you disengage
Oh.
from everyone.
Okay.
You're
Yes,
focusing
okay.
on dodging for the turn, essentially. That's his action.
Fair.
And the other one will just simply use action dash. Wait for me. Taking us to Zeke.
Okay. Zeke will. Zeke's gonna steady aim, and no, I'm not gonna steady aim. I'm just gonna take a shot at this guy.
Okay.
My hand crossbow.
Just a straight roll. Straight damage. That's gonna hit.
For 7.
7 points of damage. He is vexed for next time, should he still be around.
And Zeke is going to run and kind of dive behind these rocks and try to hide.
Okay, yeah, give me a stealth check. As Zeke runs and hides. That sounds like he's cowardly. He hops behind and takes strategic cover. Uriel, as you're being woken up on the ground.
Can I see the
Oh yeah, you can see what you see.
Can I see the Dragonborn, the Dracona guy?
If you can see him, you can see him.
Well, I'd love to cast Hunter's Mark on him
Okay.
and take a shot.
Absolutely.
All right. Let me make sure everything is normal. There we go.
$18 does hit him.
Ow, right in the
All
cancer.
right. And we'll go for another dreadful strike with him with the bow.
Okay.
'Cause why not?
Because why not? It's 18 points of damage.
And then take another shot with the bow at him.
All right.
Oh.
You will have advantage because you vexed him wait.
Oh, that's right. I did.
What is the range on the short bow? 80. You within 80?
I think I was.
Ooh.
Oh, I wasn't.
So
it was a
it would just be a
disadvantage.
straight roll.
Okay. So straight roll it is.
So 9 is going to miss.
Okay. And that'll do it for me.
All right. That'll take us to the boys in blue, as they are. Some of them are alive. This guy's they're gonna action dash. Because there is kind of a pathway down here that is a little easier for them to walk down. Or run down, rather. But just barely so. Thus ending their turn. Taking us to a dead tiefling, and then Benji.
We'll go down. If I go going down carefully, is it how much movement does that cost me to go down?
15 feet down, so it would cost 30 feet of movement if you climb down. I'd say especially this area it's kind of like a outcropping.
Okay. I'll just use some portals then.
Okay.
I will hop off the ledge into a portal, pop over by Orsic.
Yeah.
And I'll use 15 feet of movement to get closer to these guys, and I'll light up a fairy fire unlike her before.
Okay. What's the DC?
15.
So all but the Dragonborn. Illuminate loosely.
All right. That's what I got. Should make things a little bit easier.
Hey, it should.
That'll take us to Torn.
Torn will move up next to Lucky. And he'll frown. He'll say, I'm normally not like this, but... He points again. Another bolt of lightning streaks out of the sky, hitting the Sun Elf and the 3 others around him.
Yeah. Deck save again. Roll some damage.
$16 points of lightning.
Why didn't it roll theirs? There we go. What? Interesting, because it was on. I had a sheet on top of a sheet, so it wasn't. It was rolling weird. So 16. The Sun Elf is alive. They're the 2 blue boys. Electrocuted as their bodies singe to the ground. Dragonborn dodges out of the majority of the damage. He's very dexterous. Anything else for Torn?
And he, like, absentmindedly, he'll look over to Lucky and he'll say, oh, yeah, Dandelion. And he'll cast Healing Word.
Okay. Is the Call Lightning a action to use?
Yes.
Okay. I know some of those things are bonus actions, some are actions.
Yeah,
So it
it
varies.
is an action. It should be an action. Lucky gets 6 more points of healing.
Yeah.
And then he'll, like, dust Lucky off a little awkwardly. And That is all.
All right, that will take us to the rest of the crew starts to kind of make position and fire at their would-be assailants as best they can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, hiccups. Actually, I'll re-roll that because some of them are shooting at the... Actually, so this one's no longer fairy fired. I'll give him an extra d4. Yep. So they will... Both of the Sun Elves are gone. And that's about the extent of their dark vision, except for this guy who dodges out of the way of his attacks. As they kind of start cheering, like, yeah, run! Which will take us to the Dragonborn, who runs and slides down another cliffside off the map. That will take us to Orsic. As all you can really see in this moment is the one Moon Elf, who is wounded.
I had something fun planned for him when he left. Orsic's gonna, before he left, Orsic's gonna ride up to the top of this cliff up here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna basically circle around, banging on his shield. We're gonna try and intimidate everybody to run and just like, come fight me, you cowards! Every one of you will die if you come and approach.
Sure, give me an intimidation check. I will say they are already running. The one that's left.
Which I won't.
Somehow they're less scared.
Somehow they're less scared with my +5 intimidation. I'm never using intimidation again, ever. It's never worked.
It's situational. You're banging your shield, telling them to come fight you, and they are absolutely not. Does Pax give chase?
All right, so what's the actual definition of dash?
A bonus action or action. You can do both. And you move your movement speed. So you can move, then you can action dash your movement speed. And then you, because you're a monk, can also bonus action dash. So you can move your movement speed up to 3 times, depending on what you use.
And then still do an action?
No. But you can do bonus action dash and have an action. So you can use your movement twice and still have an action. Also note that is like another 15 feet down, so you won't be able to get there unless you dash twice.
But then I'll just be there.
And then you'll just be there.
That's no good. I think I'll just kick this for a little bit.
Okay, yeah. The loosely charred but mostly bloody and slashed tiefling. Zeke. Anything you would like to do? You are currently sneaking. As you kind of look up, can barely make out one light blue-skinned elf.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna remain in cover here.
Okay. Lucky. Do you feel lucky?
Boys. I'm also gonna just remain
Okay.
and take it easy.
As the moon elf slips away from the fairy firelight into the shadows of the night, as the majority of their company lie dead around you. And with cheers from the majority of the camp, some people are not used to such events. But there is slight celebrations between everyone. And sure enough, that might be too calming. All of the bandits have been turned away or dead. As you guys are probably trying to, some of you making your way back to the area or looking at the stuff around, Haler will kind of approach. Yeah, that did pretty good.
So, Orsic still on his horse once. He's gonna take a lap around the camp and like banging on his shield and, "Boy, they tested us and we were found worthy. They are afraid. They are cowards, but none of you are cowards. Rise up. Be proud of yourselves."
Like, yeah, we helped. Yeah, we're a team effort.
Huh.
Carnal
How soon
whisper.
you forget poor Mabel.
Her sacrifice was not in vain. She'll serve as a good meal for all of us tonight.
Torn will whisper to Lucky, remind me to put the sedative in his food again.
I got you, buddy. Don't worry.
As there probably would be a few of the steer and horses that, well, the horses would be fine because they're tied up, but the steer probably aren't tied up. So maybe one or two got loose as they're probably having to get wrangled by their handlers. But yeah, there is a dead oxen. It is also like 3 in the morning. So it's up to you guys if you want to stay up to butcher it. But
I can stay up to butcher it because I got the long rest, right?
yeah, I would. Haler will probably recommend we can just take it to camp or to town tomorrow. Throw it on one of the wagons. There's room in one of them. Put it in the food wagon. Or in the covered
That's a good
wagon.
idea.
Get it to somewhere clean and should be in town tomorrow.
After that, can I go search the lady with the pistol to
Yeah.
see if I can have it?
She has a pistol.
And what else does she have?
That's it. She has a pistol and a scimitar.
And a hat.
She does have a hat.
Is a
Lucky.
hat?
I'll take the hat and the pistol.
Fuck.
And studded leather armor. Notably,
I
she
already
has
did
no
that.
more bullets. She had the one.
It's all right. Lucky loves to figure things out.
Bullets are easier to make than a flintlock pistol.
Hey,
It's also very
that bullet
expensive.
from it. I got the
Buy
bullet
bullets.
from
Bullets are expensive too in black powder, but no, the pistol itself is very expensive.
Oh, I'm not selling this one.
All right.
I'm gonna try to shoot it.
It might. We'll see what happens when you get to town.
We'll see.
But yeah, there is some light celebration. Everyone, is amped up from the event. And there would be definitely some searching of the bodies. One thing of note would come up is there was a brand on the tiefling. This would be a brand that I think you guys have seen that symbol before. The one that looks like a bowl.
Maybe.
Symbol number 4.
Lucky might be the one who's seen it, but it looks like this.
Have we seen that?
Branded onto his chest.
The eternal flame symbol.
Well, you don't know that, but yeah. I would say if you want, you can give me an Arcana check. Anyone? Actually, you know what? I would say Benji would be the one to recognize this, if out of anyone, as the symbol for eternal flame. I was skipping the roll thing. You just have it.
Oh.
Benji recognizes it. And that's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to start just giving stuff to people that makes sense to have.
This looks like it's for the eternal flame.
What's that mean?
That would be the history check. Or the
It's
Arcana
a
check.
flame that doesn't go out.
That's
Forever?
I would say all you would know from the 12 would be that it's people that believe fire is the best, really enjoy burning stuff. And there's some
I'm more concerned about
some
is
being behind it.
We're getting this flame symbol. We're getting the Ogremok symbol and the Howling Hatred symbol. What's going on with all this?
Well, clearly they're a bunch of fucking cowards. Believe in what we got. We believe in ourselves. We'll overcome it all. Look at what we did today. And Orsik's gonna make his rounds around the camp, just encouraging everybody. And
Yeah, I'd say most people are definitely they're amped up for the first little bit, and it takes them a while to get back to bed because it is like 3 a.m. Nobody slept the night before, so everyone is extra exhausted, trying to sleep.
Nice.
But there would definitely be some people staying up the rest of the evening. But as you all loosely celebrate your victory, get a pistol, as well as see an odd symbol. Could be somehow related to the events happening all over the Desserin Valley. Unfortunately, with one oxen lost, we might have to make up for it in other ways on the road ahead. One more day to Tribor. And that's where we're going to end tonight. As you have thwarted the bandit menace. For now. See what awaits him on the road next time. But yeah. Good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.
Night.
Okay.